This is a Glassbox Media podcast.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina. And I'm COVID free.
Yeah.
So we can be in person.
It hit you hard. I can relate. It's awful.
It did. What the weirdest part about it was that, you know, I'm somebody that is often dealing with a lot of different thoughts in my head at the same time. Mm-hmm. So in a way, it was kind of a nice break to have nothing.
No thoughts.
Nothing.
Zero.
At all.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I would have to talk myself through doing the simplest of tasks. Like I could not access thoughts.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre. So the brain fog was real.
Yeah.
The fatigue was real. But
I
luckily,
think didn't you say you slept for like 20 hours one day?
oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I was out.
Your body needed it though.
Yeah.
It just needed to shut down.
I lived on orange juice and a lot of Dayquil, NyQuil,
Oh hell yeah.
Sudafed,
That's what got you.
Theraflu.
That's what got me through. Dayquil, NyQuil. That's what got me through.
Listen.
And like saltine crackers. That's it.
Yep.
Like
That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So glad to be back in person. I have brought you guys something. I just showed you a TikTok. It's give some credit to F the Nice Guy podcast. So go check that out if you want the full story. But this just like really hit home to me because I've known several guys like this, but it's the story of like a woman who gets all of these different messages on her Facebook from a stranger. And it's somebody that's being uber forward and like, hey, how's it going? Hey, Kels.
Hey, I'm just a fun guy.
Just a fun guy. Super
it's
fun
like
guy.
manic pixie dream guy energy.
Yes.
Like because what he was doing was sending like multiple messages and they're all very like quirky, not the way people talk to each other in real life. It was like it's like, and I love this show, but it's like Gilmore Girls speak. You know what I mean? Where I'm like it's not quite reality. Like people don't really talk to each other like that.
And it's very off-putting.
Wow.
Like
so
like we obviously have our own shorthand because we have years of being friends with each other, but
a stranger
coming and speaking to us that way would be off-putting.
And
I'm
like
immediately sus
and
when
a
someone's
person
too forward like
who
that.
sends like 6 messages back to back.
Right.
Is always just like, oh,
especially if
fuck's
it's
sake.
not a friend.
If it's not a friend, right? If it's a friend, that's different. Like, you know, I know how my friends communicate. If it is a stranger and they're sending me like message, like back to back with no like input from me,
right,
is fucking ugh.
So of course she asks, she's like, okay, how do I know you? And then he responds with voice messages.
No.
3 different ones totaling over 10 minutes each, which is very bizarre. So now you're like talking to yourself, basically.
About yourself.
To a stranger.
Yeah, you know nothing about
Facebook.
this person. Like that's the thing is like he's convinced himself that like I saw you online and you're the love of my life, but like you don't actually know her. So you're talking about yourself trying to convince someone you don't know to like you for 10 minutes.
Yeah, he found her, he matched with her on Bumble, or I don't even know if he matched with her. He saw her profile on Bumble and then found her with that limited information on Facebook and reached out to her being like, the nice guy, and like, you know, basically like, you know, I'm not bragging. I make a lot of money. I'm just really proud of it. And like, did my mom get you to write my bio because it's like so perfect? Or it's just so cheesy.
It's so pick me, dude.
It really is. It's so off-putting, but it's so scary. And it's like, I don't know.
We're too accessible. I really think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, this guy probably doesn't understand why what he's doing is so fucking bizarre and creepy.
Yeah.
And
he's like, I'm just being friendly.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, I got to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, we are usually team shoot your shot on this podcast. We've talked about that many times. But like, you have to know when you're crossing the line into somebody's like personal space in a creepy way. Like, that's creepy.
And you know, the minute that she's like, oh, no, thank you. He's like, well, fuck you then, bitch. I'm just trying to be a fucking nice guy.
You can't win. You can't win.
Can't win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And we all know that's coming next.
Yeah.
And because I'm like, shooting your shot would be, I mean, I think it would still be very weird if you saw somebody's profile on Bumble and then found them on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. I still would be creeped out by that. But I suppose like if you did and you were like, hey, I think I saw you on Bumble and I think you're really pretty and I would love to get to know you or whatever.
If you're open to it, you know, send me a message
but
back.
even still, it's weird that you found me on Bumble and then searched me out. I'm already kind of creeped out by that.
If we didn't match,
yeah.
then
right. And she's on Bumble for a reason, right? If she's, because assuming you couldn't find her on the other apps, like assuming she's not on the other apps, she's picked Bumble specifically so she can be the person who reaches out first.
Correct.
Yeah. Like she doesn't want a bunch of randos in her inbox. That's why she's on that app.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it would be different to me. I wouldn't love it, but I don't think I would be immediately like 9-1 if somebody sent me a message and they were like, "Oh, I came across your profile on Bumble. I just wanted to reach out. I felt compelled to reach out." I would be okay with that because then I'd be like, "Oh, it's fine.
I'm
I'll just
totally creeped out by that. That's so much extra work.
Yeah, but I mean, we
Who
all
among us hasn't?
snoop.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, yeah.
I snooped.
Exactly.
And it's like,
that's why I'm like, I can't fully be like, because I've definitely seen people on one thing and like Googled them and like snooped on their shit. Like I've definitely snooped on people's shit before.
You do that in your secret private place. You never bring it up again. Yeah.
You're like, I don't know about your, aunt selling a coffee table or anything like that.
And you're so fucking careful. When I'm on somebody's Instagram, the way you scroll, lift the finger fully up before you put it back down to keep scrolling.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, if I accidentally fucking double tap on one of these.
Then I got to move. I got to change my name.
That's right.
I got to do
delete my entire profile.
disappearing act.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
So I do. I mean, that is natural. I do go back.
Curiosity
and
is natural.
do snoop on certain people, and that's fine. That's my prerogative. I'm maybe just curious, but if I was, if I got a message like that being like, I was, just trying to shoot my shot, no pressure or what have you, like, and it was one message or whatever.
I don't think I would be super freaked out by that. I think I would just be like, oh, okay, no, thank you or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that, and as long as they were like, okay, just
move on.
And then we could just move on. Like that would be fine.
It's a normal interaction.
But this is so fucking extra. It's so weird.
Yeah. I really, really don't like it when people are that forward.
Yeah.
Like that right off the bat.
There is your it works too accessible thing triggered a memory of a TikTok I watched just the other day, which was this guy who was like, basically like, I can find you anywhere you are. Like and he basically is like this woman was like, I'm sending you this because my daughter doesn't believe that, you could find somebody anywhere. And the guy's like, okay, according to like where the sun is hitting and the direction of the sun, you're and then it's like, and I can see that there's a CVS and a Wendy's. And so based off of that, you have to be here. And he literally the exact fucking spot.
Yeah. There are whole TikToks dedicated to people being in the comments who create like fake accounts who are like, I bet you can't find my real identity, and whole TikToks who are like, oh, I can figure it out, and like they show their whole process of like how to trace it back to you. So I'm just like, it is true. It's like we are so accessible in a way that is fucking weird.
Spooky, man.
Like it's spooky. Yeah.
And if you're a guy and you don't understand like why that is so scary for a woman, then like
Seek help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Honestly, because that's
Then you don't have all
showing a lack
friends that
of
are girl.
empathy. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
You don't really have close girlfriends then, because you would never do that.
You would never do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yoinks. Well, fun, scary times.
I know.
Speaking of things I saw on TikTok, I saw something that I thought was funny because it was just like one of those things I never had thought about before, and I thought it would be a fun fuck, marry, kill. So the TikTok I watched, the TikTok I watched was about this guy was like in the 80s and the 90s, like some of the biggest musicians were like like middle-aged people, and not
Yeah.
like super good-looking middle-aged people
No,
either. We're talking
no.
like Phil Collins,
It was really like when
Michael McDonald.
when music video, Christopher Cross, like when
Yes.
music videos were everything. Because I mean, it really is that
Well,
like video killed the radio star, right?
No,
It's
but
just like,
Tina Turner.
But no.
yeah, but Tina Turner was still fucking hot as
truly.
fuck.
But I'm
okay.
just saying, like,
Turner is fucking amazing. But yeah, no, those like middle-aged like dudes in the 80s and 90s, like Huey Lewis,
Yes.
that kind of thing,
Not
were
good
like
looking.
not good looking. But MTV was really popular then.
Yeah.
But they made good music. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I love
But-
Huey Lewis. In the
So
news.
they did have music videos, right? All these guys had music videos. They're very funny to watch now. But I do think it was the rise of, and same with podcasting in a way. It's like the rise of this audio medium becoming a visual medium that like changed the way we looked at pop stars.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's just like you could be Christopher Cross and just be like sailing, sitting at your fucking piano or whatever. And like nobody cared because it's just like he sounds pretty. You know?
And he became, you're right, these guys became popular before videos.
Right.
And so they just kind of had to fall into the video culture, whereas like video culture then became its own thing.
Right.
And
And
it
then
became
there's,
boy
like,
bands.
Britney
and,
Spears
Yeah.
and Justin Timberlake.
And like these bands were like pretty much like made, right? Like
Yeah.
New Kids on the Block. I mean,
Created,
like, created
for that space. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, and you could see it anytime you watched like American Idol. Like always,
true.
Simon Cowell would be like, okay, well, I mean, she can sing really well, but I can't package that as a pop star. Because so much of
Yeah.
it was about like what does she
Image.
look like? Yeah, what can she put out a good music video? You know,
Yeah.
and it's why those shows became popular because the American people then were like able to say like, you know what, we like Ruben Studdard and we don't care. You know,
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. So I was thinking, how funny would it be to do middle-aged pop stars?
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Phil Collins. I just feel like
Yeah, it's a
I
great
got
one.
To.
Yeah.
I love that the guy because that TikTok goes viral every like 6 months or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
And I love when he calls Phil Collins a Russian mechanic
'Cause that's
And it's
exactly
like,
what he
when he
looks
had that
like.
like receding hairline and like the mullet
Totally.
situation.
Have you seen him now? He looks like a professor. So
Yeah.
I recently
I
watched.
have to look.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I watched. Well, I mean, I watched the classic albums
I love that
documentary
show.
series. It used to be on VH1, but
The
so-
number of music the things that you have on your Plex, by the way,
I know.
bananas. I was like scrolling.
It's my number one favorite thing.
Yeah.
That I love listening to musicians talk about their process. I think it's endlessly fascinating.
Yeah, agree.
The same way that I think that people who are really into acting would love to hear
Love
actors
it.
talk about
Yeah.
their process,
Yeah.
you know? So I just watched the one with Phil Collins for Face Value, his album or whatever. But at the time, so that was recorded in the 90s. He was in his 50s. He was already like bald. He just looked like this like little nice old man.
love
Like
it.
professor.
Yeah, his little tiny glasses because he has like really little glasses.
Yes.
And look, anybody, have you heard the Tarzan soundtrack? That shit goes so fucking hard.
Okay.
It
You've
is
gone too far.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I need input from listeners. I need input from
that
listeners because like that whole soundtrack goes so much harder than it has
Dude,
to.
In the Air Tonight is such a banger. So good. So good that it's just it's iconic. It's iconic. So yeah,
Oh,
Phil
man.
Collins definitely. Well, I mean, I gotta do a Huey Lewis in the news.
I know.
It's
I need to look at him because I feel like I've not looked at a picture of Huey Lewis in a long time.
also have so much love for Huey Lewis.
I know. I was trying to think of mine because I'm like, I was thinking about. Go ahead.
No, you guys are so mean to Huey Lewis. He's not that unattractive.
But he wasn't cute.
He looks like a dad.
Well, so did Phil Collins. He looked
Yeah.
like somebody's dad.
He looks like
he
somebody's
looks
dad.
like the sitcom Full House
Yes.
as a person.
Yeah, he looks like, you know what? He looks like he could be Home Improvement neighbor or something. You know what I mean? Like
totally.
that's the vibe.
Totally. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Like Kenny Rogers. You know what I mean? Like how
Oh,
this
wow.
dude.
Yeah. Dude, that guy has a Bob Vila vibe.
Total Bob Vila vibe, right?
100%. Yeah. Mhm.
Gosh. Well, I was thinking like
Doesn't
Michael
Kenny Rogers
Bolton.
do chicken shacks now? Am
No.
I thinking?
I think
of
you're
the right?
thinking of a Mad TV skit where he's like, drunk.
I swear to God, Kenny Rogers has
You know
chicken
what?
shacks.
It is vaguely something is pinging in my brain.
I think that you guys are thinking of there was a whole skit on Mad TV where the guy was Kenny Rogers and he was like eating chicken.
Maybe.
Will Sasso? Oh my
Will
God.
Sasso as like Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, something is pinging vaguely.
I'm Googling Kenny Rogers chicken right now.
But Michael Bolton unironically would fuck Michael Bolton.
It is. He does have a chain
no
of
way.
chicken
Of
restaurant?
course,
Yes.
great.
Kenny Rogers?
Kenny Rogers Roasters
Yes.
is what it's called.
Oh
Amazing.
my God, I fucking love it. That's hilarious.
Amazing.
Founded in 91. So there you go.
Love that. I love that for him. Incredible. I don't even eat meat and I'm like, that's great. That's amazing.
Well, I kind of feel like you know who I'm gonna do? Oh God, not Chris Gaines. he became Garth Brooks.
Oh.
I'm doing Garth Brooks because that motherfucker would never
Chris Gaines.
remember what he did.
Yes,
Chris
of
Gaines?
course. Who could forget?
I mean,
That is camp. And I kind of like looking back.
He does not take himself too seriously,
No,
which is nice.
No.
Yeah.
How could you? Does he speak about himself in third person now? He's
don't
giving those vibes.
I don't
he
know.
would. He does.
Okay, so hold on.
He does give these vibes.
We've got Huey Lewis.
Yes.
We've got Garth Brooks. And we've got Phil Collins.
Collins. Oh my God, this is such a weird fuck Mary Kill.
Oh no.
This is so weird.
This is hard. This is hard.
hard.
Look, because part of me wants to marry Phil Collins, but I feel like it would be weird because
I cannot.
Here's the thing. Me and Zoe Kravitz about the same age, and I wanted to marry Lenny Kravitz, and somehow that worked for me. But me marrying Phil Collins when his daughter is Lily Collins, and we're
Right.
about the same age, for some reason that doesn't work as well. I don't know why.
Because
I
she
don't
feels
know
more
why.
mature in some way.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I feel like that would be an odd dynamic.
I feel like
Yeah.
Phil Collins gives me the vibes of somebody that would talk a lot about like
He gives me Gemini vibes.
Orchids.
If I'm honest.
Oh.
you know what I mean? Like
Oh, he would know
About
a lot.
orchids.
a lot about
He knows a lot about
orchids.
botany.
Yes.
Just in general. Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Be like-
birds.
Birds. Orthology.
100. He was like, "Oh, do you hear that? That's the maple weaver whippoorwill." Oh my God, I'm so fucking bored.
Oh no.
I don't know. There's part of me that's like, I don't know. We could just have a manor in the English countryside and it could be real chill. But
Oh, he's so cute now.
He's
You're right.
cute.
He's
So
dead ass
cute.
professor.
Adorbs. Like,
Wait,
kind of
why
adorbs.
is he cuter now than he was when
He's
he was?
way cuter now.
I think he's way cuter now.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's like
you gotta
72.
look. We gotta look up what does Huey
Okay,
Lewis look like
wait,
now.
I
I
looked
need-
it up and it's not.
I
want to
know what his sign is. Let's see. Phil Collins' sign.
Huey Lewis looks like this now.
Oof.
See, he has a podcast where he dates women. That's what I'm getting.
He still thinks he can pick up an 18-year-old supermodel. That's the vibes I'm getting.
Oh my
Phil
God,
Collins
are
is an
those
Aquarius.
transition glasses?
Yeah.
Of course, there. Phil Collins is in
In Aquarius. That
What
makes
is
that
Huey?
makes perfect sense to me. Huey Lewis, he actually gives such Aquarius vibes. And like knowing a lot about
Yeah.
birds is very Aquarius energy, I feel like.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like Garth Brooks' zodiac sign has to be like a fire sign.
Oh, he's got to be like a Leo.
No way, he's an Aquarius.
Oh, really?
Another fucking Aquarius. That's wild.
Interessante.
Okay, hold on. It's not pulling it up. So let me just pull up birthday and we'll figure it out. Oh, he's a Cancer. July 5th.
Oh,
Okay.
All right. That's my sister's sign, so I either love him or hate him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Listen.
Garth Brooks.
Listen.
You know what? Chris Gaines is very Aquarius energy too. Like somebody who would create
It
Chris
is.
Gaines.
An
I'm
alter
like,
ego?
yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. It feels right, you know.
Oh,
I don't know.
Lord.
There's just something.
Well, I'm an
there's
Aquarius
something,
Venus, so that's my love.
There's something about Garth Brooks that I don't
It's
want.
funny.
I don't want to admit this. I don't want to be the one that comes out and says
Girl.
it. But there's something very intriguing to me about him. In
Yeah.
fact, he and Trisha Yearwood have been together for a really long time.
I do love that.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been together forever.
Yeah. It's true.
I do faintly remember though that they met during touring and that he might have been married before.
He feels like somebody that you'd be like, Garth, don't wear that. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Like,
God.
you
Yeah.
totally like have to manage a little bit. 'Cause you're like, ugh, okay, this is my new boyfriend.
Or you just have to accept it. Yeah.
Imagine.
No,
So
you're right. You're right. You're
I
right.
like coming out to meet you guys late night. I'm like, this is my new boyfriend, and it's
Garth Brooks.
I will say this. Garth
would be
Brooks,
like-
Garth Brooks has a confidence about him, though, that I actually think he would try and wear something completely fucking off the wall.
Imagine you came out and were like, "This is my boyfriend, Huey Lewis."
No.
Okay, he gives off like mob vibes.
Mob?
Like, yeah, like he's
Mafia.
like mafia. Definitely.
No.
There's something I don't know.
Do
Like,
you see that picture of him now?
well, now,
No, you're right, but back then,
back
he
then,
did.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
seems like the guy who would try to pull off like a thick gold chain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Got
you're
one,
like,
hairy
one
chest.
earring.
Oh, yeah. One earring. Yeah, he went through a midlife crisis and pierced his ear and got like a
for sure.
dangly
It's
earring.
Giving Sandoval is what it's
Oh
giving.
my God.
I am your neighbor.
Oh, no.
No.
See,
No,
no.
I haven't. What are you talking
his
What
about?
are you talking
performance, his latest
No,
performance.
He did not do
No, he
Outcast.
did not.
He did
No.
Outcast, and he's like,
All
No.
right.
No. I hate it.
I am your neighbor. Lend me some sugar.
Oh.
I am your neighbor.
I
That's
swear
exactly
to
what he
God.
delivers.
You better be fucking lying.
I am not.
And I swear to God, during the commercial break, you better look it up so I can see it. 'Cause
Yes,
I am,
we're having it. So, okay,
All
I
right.
think for us to get through this FMK,
Yeah,
we
'cause
need, we need
Jesus.
some
Okay,
rules.
buckle down.
Are we doing
Mary
them
Friend.
in their prime,
now.
or we're doing them now?
I think we have to
need
do them in
them
their prime because we're talking about like middle age when they were pop stars.
Yes.
Okay.
So when they were like pop
Okay.
stars.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You're right. You're right. Okay.
So we're gonna fuck,
Okay.
Mary, kill these
God.
guys in their prime.
Because I feel like the answer would be different now.
You're
It
right.
would be.
You're right.
Yeah.
Correct.
You're right.
So if we're doing them in
Because
their
I'm
prime,
going to fuck Huey Lewis now. Or,
then
yeah, then. But not now.
He's tall, I guess.
You don't think he was good looking then? I think he was good looking then.
I think he was all right.
Yeah.
He's not my type, but I don't think he was a bad looking man.
He's giving like Tony Danza, like Mona vibes.
That's
You
not,
know what
I'm
I
just
mean?
fucking him. Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not going to marry him.
I don't know who I would marry.
I think that I'm gonna marry. Oof, this is really. Now I should marry Phil Collins.
Mm-hmm. You want to marry Garth Brooks, and it's okay.
It's
You can
okay.
admit that on this podcast.
Yeah.
No judgment.
We've admitted
But now
a
that
lot
we've
of things.
changed it, though, like it makes me.
In
I'm
the
actually
prime is different.
in prime.
Garth Brooks in his prime.
Yeah,
That's a wild.
I'm not.
I mean, he was like wearing seats, strapping in, and flying across stadiums. Like that person is wild. That
Yeah.
could be a lot of fun.
It could be
be a lot
fun.
of
I
fun.
feel like it would burn hot and fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think someone like that can envision stuff like that could be very
And pretty
creative
fearless.
in other.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty
areas,
fearless
too.
as well. Like, I don't think he cares that much about what other people think of him, which is cool, you know? And I think
Yeah.
back then, too.
I think back then I would have though. I'd been like, oh God. I'd been like covering my face for
Cringe.
everything
Yes.
all the time.
Oh, and when the fucking Chris Gaines thing came out, oh my God, I would go into hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's
Wow.
very yeah. I
God,
don't
this
know
is
what I would
hard.
do.
It's actually, this is one of our
Mary
harder
tough.
ones.
Like I truly think that I should choose Phil Collins, but I got to be honest. There is nothing attractive about Phil Collins to me. He's a real. I don't know why. Like especially then. If we're talking now, it's a totally different scenario.
He's a drummer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
Drum-
like that.
That's hot.
Yeah, it is hot. It is really hot. And somebody that can drum and sing simultaneously.
Yeah,
can
that brain
do-
works. What
Yeah.
that brain do?
You're
Some
right.
stuff.
You're right. I'm gonna marry Phil Collins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the right thing,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna be friends with Garth Brooks.
yeah.
Yeah.
He would be a fun friend.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, he'd be fun.
But I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to babysit that.
No, you
know,
call
let
Trisha up. Yeah.
Trish.
Come
He's
handle
at the house.
Handle your man.
Come get
handle
him.
your man. Come get him.
He's Chris Gainson tonight.
Yeah, he's had one too many and slipping into Chris Gaines. He's singing Wonderwall. We gotta come get him, please.
He brought his guitar. Oh no.
Oh no. He is a total bring his guitar to the party.
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But that'd be fun if he was your friend and you had a big fire out back.
Yeah.
I kind of want Garth Brooks to come over and
I really would be okay with it
Yeah.
if it was him because we would have a bonfire. He
Yeah.
would be way more fun.
Oh, we would
than-
sing all the
than
songs.
Phil Collins or Huey Lewis.
Because
It'd be way
Agreed.
more fun.
Yeah. Because you imagine, like, he would make it a sing along.
You know what I'm gonna do?
He's gonna pull out some friends in low places. We're gonna get twisted. It's
I'm
good.
gonna fuck Garth Brooks.
Oh my God. Lord. Oh my Lord.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
like,
do it. It's gonna be one
And
of
then
those
he
nights
changes
that
into Chris Gaines halfway through.
And you know what? I'm here for the ride. I'm here for whatever comes. I'm allowing it into my orbit because.
Dude, somebody that creates an alter
I'm letting
ego,
it happen.
I'm thinking
They're doing
would
weird
do
shit.
weird shit
They're
in this
doing
bed.
role playing. They're gonna get
Yes.
me into role playing, and I'm not into it.
Oh my
But they're
God.
gonna get me into it, and I'll never
He
talk
uses
about
accents.
it again.
He uses accents
I'll
in bed.
never talk about
My
it.
lady.
But
Malaysia.
yeah, and that's the thing is like it would be one of those things where it's like we're never going to tell people we did this ever. I'm never. If you tell anybody what we did in this room tonight,
Light
I
of
will
day.
deny.
Yeah.
Dead to me.
But
I could see
in the
him
moment,
with like mirrors and shit too. Yeah.
in the moment, I'll go for it. I feel like he'd melt wax on you and stuff. Like
yeah.
I'm like, let's go. I'm gonna one night. I'm
I think
open.
you're
Trish.
100% right.
Right?
Wow.
I think I gotta lock that down. I think I gotta marry that.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I think he would be the most like
He's fun.
adventurous,
Yeah.
and very much like
But not dangerously adventurous.
No.
exactly
No.
just the right amount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're right.
I feel like he wouldn't be judgmental if you're like,
No.
I kind of want to try
This
this.
is
would
why
not
I
be.
feel like he
100.
and I though would be
Chaos. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna explode.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
burn too brightly. Yeah. I'm gonna fuck him. I'm gonna marry Phil Collins. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm gonna be bored, but I don't know that I could marry Garth Brooks. I feel like it might be too much.
Yeah,
What about Huey Lewis?
I am.
Gonna friend him?
no.
She's like,
do-
I'm sticking
I do
to the
find-
FMK.
Huey Lewis music is great. I still enjoy it. It's a lot of
Wow.
fun to
Yes.
me. I love it.
Yeah.
I think
A lot of
Huey Lewis is a
horns.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Which is probably why Cassie is making that face. She does not like horns.
I don't like horns. But I did decide to fuck him, didn't I? Well,
Yeah.
I stand by my decision.
Yeah, but I can't. There's something about Huey Lewis, even back then, when I do think he was fine looking. Like there's something a little greasy, a little
God damn it, you
arrogant
guys. Yeah.
about the way
Yeah.
he looks. That I'm just like, you are not good looking enough to be that arrogant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I there's that kind of like vibe.
But he's like, I'm super talented though.
yeah, bleh. And I'm like,
Peter
okay.
Gabriel would have been a good one too.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. He was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna marry Garth Brooks. We're going to be adventuresome together, and I think I'm gonna fuck Phil Collins. I think it will be.
I fell asleep listening to that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm back now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking Phil Collins is gonna be
Wow.
real. Like,
But we're doing it in the prime when he was a drummer and a singer.
Okay.
and he was
maybe
he
he'd
was very-
surprise you.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna make love to you, and that grosses me out.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Same.
do. I think you're right.
It's gonna be the sex version
think-
of easy listening.
Oh God!
Yeah, it is.
I have.
He wrote a song about it.
I have
During.
fucked a lot of guys like that, and it's like it's so sad because I'm like, oh, and then
Bless
you
your
don't
heart.
call him again.
no.
You,
Oh my
like,
God! Oh my
block.
God! I'm having flashbacks.
Oh my God!
You
You
mean
break.
actual-
I would break Phil Collins' heart.
Yeah.
Oh my
he
God,
would.
I can't marry
He
Phil
would
Collins.
send
What
you
am I
a
doing?
voice note with like his song that he wrote.
Oh!
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we need to do an amendment?
Oh, we hurt Cassie
Yeah.
deeply.
I'm broken.
Yeah.
I just got broken.
I mean, listen, but I don't know.
it's too far. We're too far gone.
Like, scrap it. We have to move on. We have to move on.
Oh man.
Well, I do want to give a shout out. So this person has been a patron before. They've been very active in the Facebook group and with us for a long time, but they just became a yearly patron. So that is something that I don't think we've talked about in a while that you can choose to do on our Patreon. You can either do month to month or you can select to like pay for the whole year if you know that you're going to want to stay and hang out for the whole year. And that is always much appreciated to us. And, it also saves you a little bit of money in the long run if you're going to stay the whole time. So D. Britt, thank you so much for joining us again on Patreon and becoming an annual patron. That's so lovely. We appreciate and love
Really
you so
appreciate it.
much.
Yeah, and for also people, check out our link in the show notes. We now have an amazing subscription service. So if you aren't on Patreon but you don't want to listen to those pesky ads, you can click the link, and Supercast will let you listen on any of your preferred podcast players. So you can check that out for options. And yeah,
we've also updated our
$10 level.
Yeah, our patron $10.
Yeah, because if you join on Patreon at the $10 level, you do get ad-free episodes. So since we were doing Supercast, which allows for ad-free episodes, we knew that we needed to do something special for our $10 and up patrons in addition to the rewards that they already had. So we will be sending out this month, throughout the month, kind of in stages, we'll be sending out a exclusive My Worst Date magnet to everybody who's $10 and up, and anyone who joins the $10 level moving forward will also receive the magnet with their other rewards.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
That sounds good.
Cool. And we're back.
All right. I'm going to start us off because I have the Tainted Love later. All right. This person says, I somehow scored a date with this amazing girl my junior year of high school. We've been friends and coworkers for years, and she was way out of my league. She was a genius, funny, and smoking hot, and I was a future Redditor.
Oh, honey. The self-awareness.
Yeah, is this in the our self-aware bears?
Yeah.
Self-aware bears. I love that. We had a really great date. She lived way out in the boonies, so we had a 30-minute drive home, and we're having amazing conversation. She was dropping the flirt pretty hard, and I began subtly looking for a chance to pull off onto one of the rural dirt roads when my gut turned fucking sideways on me.
No.
I don't remember what I'd eaten that day, but it was making a run for the border in the worst way.
Dude, what's going on? Everybody's stomach is just a nightmare. And I feel like it gets worse as you get older. Like it really does.
I know. I fart daily.
You're supposed to.
I think it's good for you.
Very audibly daily. And it does get worse as you get older. So
oh my God.
Great. So the noise from my stomach was fully audible, so I panicked and turned on the radio. No reception in the middle of the country, so I cranked the CD player, which happens to be fucking Audio Slave in the middle of her sentence.
You're like, shut up.
Just blasting. Like trying to have like a serious conversation. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
She looks confused and a little irked, but I yell something like, you gotta hear this Audio Slave song. It's fucking great.
Oh, he's a fucking junior in high school or whatever. Poor thing.
Oh no. Oh no.
The
car smells. Like, what the?
My bowels are on fire.
Oh, babe.
As we ride in awkward silence under the angsty yowls of Chris Cornell.
Oh.
I pulled up in front of her house, and God bless her, she turned off the Audio Slave and gave me the unmistakable kiss me goodnight look. And I shot her down with a curt smile and a good night. That hurt more than the pipe bomb in my colon.
Hold on. I feel like you can't hold it together for the 30 seconds it would take to kiss somebody.
You heard my short story from my shorty earlier. I don't know that you can.
Lean over and shit your pants on
this guy is like high and tight. He's trying to keep it together.
He's like, I can't move.
He's sweating.
Yes. She gave me a sad smile that still haunts my dreams.
Oh, no.
Thanked me for the date and got out of the car.
Oh, love.
As soon as the door shut, I let loose a fiery furnace of paint melting ferocity.
Oh, I wouldn't trust a fart like that. Like, you got to wait till you get home.
Run.
I sharded half the retail value out of my poor car.
It's on the Carfax now.
I hate it. I don't want to think about the amount of farting people do in their cars.
Oh, the Carfax report comes up.
Like,
It's just
You got to replace the seat.
poop emoji.
Disgusting.
it was unholy. I began to drive off when I saw her about face at her doorstep and start back to my car.
No. I
looked down to see her purse on the passenger
You
side.
get out and you take that to her. You don't
Throw it out the window.
Don't let her open that door. Don't let her open the door.
No.
We lock eyes. I panic and I skid off.
What would you do if you were that girl? Like, you'd
I'd be like, are you fucking
all
serious?
night you're thinking, like, what did I do? What did I do wrong? I would be thinking, what did I do wrong all night?
I am down the highway doing 70, windows down to air my shame. About 10 miles down the road, I pull a Huey and come back. To be safe, I come out of the car with her purse. She's still outside on her porch because, of course, her keys are in her
Oh
purse.
my God. This is such high school boy, like behavior,
Oh,
like
man.
thought process.
I apologize and hand her the purse at arm's length.
Yes.
She's pissed. She says nothing. I realized several things at once. Her keys were in her purse.
Yeah.
She was locked out for 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
She was locked out because her parents weren't home. Her parents weren't fucking home. And so I blew it so hard that it could never be salvaged.
This is going to
Done.
haunt you forever. Oh my God.
He's like this. He's writing the story. He's like 50.
He's
He's
55.
like, yeah, he's like,
I drove home in shame and pain. And since I still had a good half hour before I could shit, TLDR, gas ruined states, Audio Slave sucks.
Oh, don't do that to Audio Slave.
yeah,
Come
that ain't
on,
their
don't do
fault.
that.
Shit.
Oh my God. It's just the idea that they locked eyes. Like he looked down, saw the purse, looked at her as she's walking towards the
He was
car.
like,
and it was
bye,
like,
bitch.
I'm out.
20 horrible.
20 minutes trying to air out his car.
No, that's horrible, dude.
Listen, at that point, just throw the fucking purse out the window. You
Honestly.
could've-
Yeah.
I'm out.
Oh my God.
And you have to see them at school.
Yeah. Junior in high school.
And that's a teenage girl, so she told all her friends immediately.
Oh, 100. You can be like, you would not believe this
What a piece of
motherfucker.
shit.
I
Yeah.
was telling a story and then he fucking turned on the radio. He drove
loud.
off with my fucking purse and left me stranded out there. She was
Oh my
like, I was
God.
going to let him hit it, but he was such a fucking dick. Like, all this-
Oh,
He
girl,
works
the
with her
goss.
too.
Yes.
Their
The-
coworkers. Oh,
The
no.
gossip that hit that school.
No.
So he had this guy, did he quit his job?
Yeah.
Move to a different
Yeah, you got to move
state?
to a different town.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're done.
Start
You're
over.
done in that town.
Yeah.
Trade your car in and move.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. It's like-
You're underwater on that car now.
Upside down on it. Okay. This is from a listener. Hey guys, my sophomore year of college, I was seeing a guy I met through a combination of Tinder and mutual friends. It started out hot and heavy, and by a few weeks in, he was begging me to let him fly me out to California to meet his family. I went to a private military college, and this was normal for the brainwashed ROTC men. That's very military life behavior.
Yeah,
You move
it's
at
just like,
lightning speed.
Get married
Really?
immediately.
Yeah, military.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
you get married so fucking fast. I had started to see other red flags besides the desperation and love bombing. He once left my dorm room in the middle of the night because I was not in the mood, and his parting words were, "Well, I need to leave before I do something I'll regret."
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about rape,
Yeah.
sir.
Before I
Yeah.
do something I'll regret.
That's such
I feel
a
like
red
that was
flag.
so common too, like that kind of thing. That's just like I just can't. I just
can't
think you're
control
you're so
myself.
beautiful that I just can't control myself around
Gross.
you. Like it was packaged as passion. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's fucking weird.
You watch too many of those daytime soap operas with your mom.
Sure did. Sure did. Young and the Restless. But being the naive 20-year-old I was, I continued to see him. One night before we were leaving for winter break, he invited me over to his dorm. When we got there, he was taking up all the space on the bed with laundry, so I took a seat at his desk. The night started off well. He learned Landslide on the guitar because he knew I loved Fleetwood Mac, both cringy and sweet. I have to say, 20-year-old, if it was actually that did happen to me. There was like a song that I really loved, and I had shared it with a guy that I had been seeing. He came back from college and had learned it on the guitar and played it.
That would have gotten me.
It
at 20.
would have gotten me. I mean, it did get me. So there you have it.
I can still just now listen to the song Faithfully by Journey. Just now.
Did a man learn that for you?
No, man played that over the phone for me one time. And I say a man, it was a child. We were like in like
That's
we were like
worse.
in middle school or
Oh, but
like
that's so bad.
freshman year
so
or something.
he was listening to the radio, recorded fucking Casey Kasem on fucking tape,
He's
and then
like,
played it for you.
Bum, bum, bum.
That song is long too.
faithfully.
That song is so long.
That's so romantic, and that makes me think you must have wanted to
hated
throw
it.
out of
I
your
was
skin
like-
and die.
Imagine me with the corded phone, like looking at it, like, oh God. I'm not kidding when I tell you I can just now listen to that song.
That is so funny. I genuinely did find it like me today, if somebody whips, because we were at a party too. Me today, if somebody whips out a guitar and plays a song to me for me, would maybe be a little like, but like at the time, I was like, actually, because that means he was thinking about me when he was in college. That was sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was sweet. I get it. But I guess for her, it was landslide. And I helped him pack for his trip home.
Faithfully.
While packing, I noticed there were several letters taped up to his wall. I asked him about it, and he said they were from his reverend and church back home. Now, I grew up religious, but after many traumatic experiences, I lost my faith and became an avid non-believer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just put... We accept all like faiths and beliefs on this podcast. I just think that this story offers a larger conversation. Okay.
Okay. All right. Oh my God. I just finished Shiny Happy People on
I
Amazon.
couldn't finish it. I started it and I have not been able to finish it. It's triggering. It's so horrible.
I thought about you guys because I'm like, holy crap. Like, you know, I was not
You were like Jack
raised
Catholic.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like a C&E Catholic at best.
Right.
You know, like religion was just not something that was important at all in our household.
Mm-hmm.
So to see that and like imagine being raised in that way was just like so like triggering for me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I like wanted to call you guys and be
You're like, how are you doing?
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, and I was very close to that, like, because we were homeschooled too.
Yeah.
So like and I never speak badly about homeschoolers as a group because like, I just think that that's silly and ignorant. And there's all kinds of reasons why people choose to homeschool.
Yeah.
And like, so people who make blanket statements about homeschoolers in general, I think is like shitty. But I will say being close in like a Christian homeschool community, being exposed to a lot of people, you get a close look at other people's lifestyles and family dynamics and stuff.
Yeah.
And when you're watching something like that documentary or 20 Kids and Counting or whatever, you see the parallels and it's so fucking like scary. And
they straight up were talking about how like you put a baby
on a blanket. Yeah.
And put a toy that the baby loves outside of the blanket. And every time the baby reaches for that toy, you hit the baby.
Right.
What?
To train them to be obedient. Because I told you not to leave the blanket.
A baby.
Yeah.
I was
It's
fucking
horrible.
shocked. And this was on TLC, the Learning Channel. What a fucking joke. Because I was just
honestly.
like, are
The
you
exploitation
kidding
channel,
me?
I believe, is what it should be
I
called.
know.
That channel is awful.
Yeah. That documentary just shocked me. Anyways.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
see.
so I guess maybe we should clarify. Maybe not all. If you're in a cult, this doesn't apply to you. But so I can also relate to this person who wrote this message in because like I was very religious and for my own personal reasons, like I am no longer religious. So I get where she's coming from with this, with what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, you go on a journey, I think, you know?
Right.
So,
Yeah. Jokingly and possibly slightly rudely, I said, fuck God.
Ooh.
And he went absolutely deathly still and quiet. And again, listen, I can relate to being in that place mentally, especially if you're fresh out of it.
Right.
And you're like angry and you have a
Yeah.
lot of trauma that you're dealing with.
Right.
But when you're dealing with people's beliefs, deeply held belief systems.
Yeah, you're putting yourself in danger.
Yeah. Instantly realizing that I had fucked up, I tried to explain my reasoning and that I didn't believe that if there was a higher power, that he would let such horrible things happen. He instantly started to lecture me about how these events were tests and things to make me stronger. Having heard this many, many times before, I immediately recognized the bullshit. But again, being the young, dumb 20-year-old I decided to stay the night as planned, even though he was giving me the most deafening silent treatment I've ever endured. Girl, go home.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
you got to call
wrap it up.
Yeah. The next day, he left for California, still a bit in a mood, and not even an hour after our goodbyes, he texted saying he couldn't be with someone who was not a child of God and who did not have religious values. While it was a relief in the end, I still dreamed about responding back to him and asking if God thought it was okay to have premarital sex in my dorm room. Still struggling with that needy 20 to 23-year-old mind, but hopefully I'll never have to deal with this guy again. So I wanted to tell this one because we've talked about it many times. If you have a fundamental core belief difference, worldview difference, if your paths diverge to that degree, in my head, and I know I've heard stories like there's always like going to be one or two people who are like, well, my mom's a hardcore Democrat and my dad's a hardcore Republican and they make it work. And like, whatever, there are occasions where people will say things like that. In my view, it never works. And it's never worth trying to make it work because it's like deeply at your heart, in your soul, at your core, you diverge. And how can you ever really have a soul connection with someone whenever your like core beliefs are so different? And it's okay to believe whatever you believe, as long as you're not hurting anyone.
The way I'd be fighting all the time with my
You'd be fighting all the time.
I mean, that's something that's so, like you said, such a part of your core, being. Like, how would you...
Right. Like, I even think like there can be spiritual differences.
Sure.
Like I think that there's a degree to which you can have some difference in like what you believe.
Yeah.
But I think if you are very strong, like anti one thing and they're very, very pro that thing, it's never going to work and it's not worth trying to make it work.
Yeah.
It's only going to get harder the closer you become attached to someone, if you choose to have children with someone.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So just... thank you for writing that story in. It was, I'm glad I'm the one who got it. I was like, relatable content.
Totally relates.
Okay. So my story starts. I met up with a guy at a bar. It was like pulling teeth to talk to him.
The worst. I
tried to talk to him about travel. I don't see why anyone would ever want to leave the U.S. I tried to talk to him about running. I don't know why anyone would run for fun. Now, I got to be honest, I agree with him on that.
And look, that's a difference I feel like you could overcome with someone.
Yeah,
that's an example of a difference where you'd
go.
be like, you know what, you like running, you go for it. It's not for me. You know?
I think the travel one would be difficult because I'm sorry, see you later then. Finally, he contributes something. As he says, he likes cars. So I tell him, my brother just bought an Aston Martin. Aston Martins ain't shit.
Oh my God.
I really only like the Camaros.
Oh my God. People who are just negative about fucking everything. Like they can't meet you halfway about anything. Irritating.
Like this is a date. It's supposed to be fun.
Is it a date? Because this is fun. This is not fun.
You're just trying to be argumentative.
I tell him, I drove an old Camaro for 9 years. You don't know shit about cars.
Oh my God.
Sir.
Dude.
I not going to deny that, but really all I said was that I drove a Camaro from the age 16 to 25. Then to top it off, he starts talking about no fap.
No,
girl.
And he
get out now.
And he tried that, but just made him angry. So now he has a strict masturbate once every 3 days policy.
Do you need to be that rigid about it?
He said it gave him a sizable loads without affecting his mood.
Oh my God.
What in the fuck? Can you imagine you're on a first date and this guy's like, hey, I got into no fap.
I'm going to add that to the list of topics that are probably not first date material. Like your masturbation habits.
You have a schedule? That's so fucking weird.
He's like, I tried the no fap. Didn't work for me. I got to schedule it in every 3 days or else.
Is it on your Google Calendar?
Like, what the fuck?
And also, it feels like you may need to increase it because if he's being so angry and argumentative, maybe you should go back to daily. Rub one out.
Maybe 3 times a day.
Exactly.
3 times a day? Who has the time?
Honestly. Check, please. Separate. Duh. As we part ways, he tries to go in for a handshake. I jokingly...
No. I know where that hand been.
I jokingly asked if he masturbated today. He said yes. I asked him if he washed his hands. He hesitates. I smile. Say bye. Leaving his hand hanging there.
That silence was loud. That hesitation. Loud.
by the time I got home, he has deleted me from Tinder.
Yeah, he's like, I know.
The fact that he deleted you.
Yeah,
man.
he knew he fucked up.
Oh my
No,
God.
actually he didn't. He probably didn't think he fucked up. He's the type who wouldn't.
I don't know that much about the no fap movement, but something feels anti-women
It
about
feels
it.
incelly.
Yeah.
Oh, for
it
sure.
does.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I'll admit I don't know that.
Somehow
much
this
about
is
it.
going to become a woman's fault.
Oh,
I
yes.
just know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things
I think
that
it's like
feel misogynistic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with like porn and how porn can be. I think it's kind of
But you
based
can
in a
masturbate
religious,
without porn.
Truly.
Like, use your imagination.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. It can do wonderful things.
Ugh, have you ever dated somebody that death gripped? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like their own.
So, like, apparently, like, you know, the rise of porn and porn being so prevalent, like, guys that masturbate, like, a lot, they end up having to go tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And then they can't, like, come during normal intercourse because they've death gripped their fucking
have
penis
not
too
heard
hard.
about this. Is this real?
You can get like cock rings and stuff will help that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm assuming.
Does it ever
I
come
don't know.
back? Like,
Actually, I don't know.
I
If you
think
know
that's
FAP
what-
for like
I
for
feel
like a
like-
year, do you think like your sensitivity would come back?
I feel like that might be part of it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Wow.
yeah, we'll have to, listeners write in.
Yeah. Let us know your experiences.
I mean, I had to lay off the vibrator for a while because, like, I felt like I was desensitizing my clit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like I was overdoing it, so I went
feel like that could
natural
happen.
for a while.
Natural.
Okay, so when you say that, just to elaborate on that. So
just like I'm taking some notes
just
here.
fingies?
Yeah, just DJing it up, you know.
DJ such and such down there.
Yeah. You know, spinning the hits. So
I also realized I shouldn't call them fingies. It's very weird in this context.
Yeah, I don't like
liked
it.
it.
I don't
Yeah.
like that.
So yeah, I went for a while just to make sure, but now
Yeah, you're like, oh god damn it, did I break it?
I know, exactly.
Look, I
back.
felt that panic before where you're
Right.
like, what if?
What if I doing
It's
this
broken.
too much? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What if it's there's a limited amount, a limited source?
Well, I mean, the vibration, and I was keeping having to be like, oh, it's not strong
up,
enough,
up,
up, and so I was like, no, like,
Oh shit.
yeah, I
I'm
might
pretty
have
strictly
to take
fingy.
yeah.
I don't like it.
You're not testing it out; it doesn't work. Oh well. On that note, you guys want to take 5, and we'll come back with the Tainted Love.
Yes. And we're back. Christina.
Yes. So I had a crisis this week in being 100% sure that I have told this story before. I scoured and went through episode by
That
episode.
panic is so fucking
so
real.
real.
It hits so hard, and the more we do this show, the harder it is.
Yeah.
Because like we can't remember. We can hardly remember what we say
Because
the second we finish saying it.
I watched Dateline enough that I was like, well, I know I've seen this, and
Yeah.
I know it was such a wackadoo story that it stayed with me. But I'm like, did I talk about it on the podcast? Did I actually do it as a Tainted Love? We'll just dive into it.
Yeah.
As far as our
You
chart,
texted us. I'm pretty sure that we have not. I mean, you didn't tell us what it is, but you explained
Right.
a little bit about it. And
Doesn't sound familiar enough to
Right. I think maybe I've seen the Dateline,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
it's so hard too because sometimes I'll listen to Dateline or Case File or something. And I'll be like, that's a good one for a Tainted Love. And I'll file it away in my head. But I'll be like, I can't use it this week because I don't want like,
right?
I don't want like Case File to put out an episode and then us put out an episode about the same thing.
right.
So I'm like, oh, I'll use that later. But then it's lived in my brain for so long that I'm
Exactly.
like, did I do it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
So, okay. I got a lot from the Dateline, but then there's also a really great Vanity Fair article that really, really goes into depth on a lot of the
Vanity
stuff that
Fair,
wasn't
man.
in
Yeah.
the Dateline.
Vanity
So,
Fair will hit hard sometimes.
wonderful. Wonderful. So, I'm going to take you to 2004.
Okay.
A freshman in high school, picture it.
Off the coast of Greece, Michelle Kramer is living her best life. She wakes up. This is her 30th birthday. She's on a yacht.
Listen,
off the
A
coast
yacht
of
on your
Greece.
30th
Say
birthday
no
off
more.
the coast of Greece.
Yeah, say no more.
Jesus.
I mean, things
love to
are
see it.
lovely. She has been married to her husband, Mark, for 3 years. They got married in 2001. And he's like, I'm taking you to Greece for your 30th birthday. We're going to do it up.
Nice.
So they had dinner in Mykonos the night before.
I will tell you, as somebody who's watched enough Dateline, and
Getting on a boat,
telling my husband telling me that he's taking me somewhere like Greece in a yacht.
girl, you'd go though. If Chris was like, I got a yacht for you.
Chris, I trust.
Yeah, but she probably trusts him too.
I know.
That's the thing.
I know. It's scary.
You never see it coming.
You know what? Can we bring friends?
There we go.
Yeah, I need witnesses.
Exactly. So they would do this thing before they went to sleep at night where they'd clink their wedding rings together, and he would tell her, "I'm never going to say goodbye."
Woof. I don't like it.
Yeah,
She wakes-
Cassie's like, ugh.
She wakes up the next morning, sun shining. It's obviously like beautiful. Mark's not there. And she's like, oh, that's weird. Maybe he's still running. Like he runs in the morning or whatever. A little bit of time passes.
So
He's
the
not
boat
coming
is
home.
docked. Yeah.
Boat is docked. She goes.
I
and
was like,
talks-
running where? They're
Talks
on
to
the ocean.
the captain that they hired, who has very limited English.
Oh, great.
And she's like, you know where Mark is? And he's like, birthday surprise, you know, kind of thing.
I remember this. Okay. Yeah.
So she's like, okay. And then it gets later. It starts getting dark. She's like, no, really, where is Mark? And he's like, oh, he went to Paris to get you diamonds for
he
your
did
birthday.
Not. No,
He just
no, ma'am.
quick jaunt
No.
over to
No.
Paris
For
No.
birthday diamonds.
That's a lie.
Of course.
for birthday diamonds.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just like, why didn't you
Sir,
get these
actually,
before?
I don't actually need it.
Yeah,
it's
fine. We're already on a yacht
That's good.
in Greece.
Plenty.
Exactly.
And plenty.
So she finally like shakes a fucking phone number out of Captain.
Listen.
And so she calls, because I guess Mark had like a burner Greek phone. She calls Mark.
Why?
She's like,
The fuck are you?
yeah,
It's
basically.
my birthday.
Like he picks up and he goes, hello. And she's like, hey, it's Michelle. Like whatever.
Your fucking
There's
wife.
Silence.
He's like, who?
and hangs up.
No.
So Michelle is in Greece on a yacht. And Captain's like, by the way, the bill for this is $30,000.
I'll just leave this here whenever you're ready.
Michelle has only been left with $1,000
Oh.
and her passport.
My God.
So
Oh, the panic.
yeah. So she's like, what the fuck?
She's like, sure. I'll be right back.
She's so confused.
I'm gonna
Dine and
look
dash on this yacht.
runs, starts swimming.
Oh no.
She is like, oh, holy shit. She calls her aunt. Her aunt loans her money to get her home to Chicago.
The amount of like, what relative would I call where I'm like, I need $30,000 plus
Truly.
a plane ticket?
Truly.
Well, yeah.
Who could I call? I'd have to
one.
crowdsource that shit. I'd be
Honest-
like,
Help.
we're doing GoFundMe.
And everybody's like, sure. Okay.
I'm abandoned in Greece. I don't have any money.
Oh my God. Did you guys ever get those stupid fucking messages?
Oh my God.
Like, oh, I'm abandoned and right?
Oh God, I don't know that I got anything that specific, but I mean, it would be hard because it's like you're the rich relative. Like
Yeah.
you're the relative who's got Paris birthday diamonds. Like you
Right.
need money from me?
You're on a yacht, bitch.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I have to pay. Like that'd be such rich person problems where you're like, I have to pay the captain for the yacht.
to pay the captain. The captain wants paid. So she makes it back. She's like, what the fuck? She's stunned. You know what I mean? So she gets into
Yeah,
her
this is shitty.
$2.4 million townhouse, this beautiful fucking home that they have.
Where
And
at?
in Chicago.
In Chicago, sorry.
And there's an envelope there. So she
Better have Paris diamonds in it.
Yeah.
she opens it up, and all it is the certificate for her diamond ring. That's it. Everything else is gone. Been cleaned out.
You fucking imagine the big balls on this guy. Like what? I am stunned.
Yeah.
Shooketh.
So happy birthday. But Dr. Mark is gone.
Dr. Mark.
Dr. Mark.
Let's
Cleaned
talk
the
about it.
house out. Left her in Greece. That is a whole nother level of fucked up.
So now we're gonna I'm like empathetic. Like she's got to be like shaking.
Oh, I would be a fucking
I'd throw
mess.
up. I would throw up. I really
for
would.
sure.
I think that
Yeah.
my like
Yep.
truly.
yeah. So Mark and Michelle met, a few years previously, and it was kind of like love at first sight. Michelle would be his third wife. She was a student at University of Chicago. She was studying to do like her PhD. They met, and he's like a very successful ear, nose, throat guy. And he's a doctor, you know, like, and he promised, he's like, I'm going to treat you like a princess for the rest of your life. And so he had set up shop nearby in a town called Maryville, which was very blue collar, tons of people with sinus problems because pollution was bad and stuff.
I never even thought about that. Like,
he's like genius.
He's rubbing his hands together. He's like jackpot.
Very, very
behind the tree.
Exactly. And because it was blue collar, there was a lot of union. So unions have insurance.
Good insurance,
Good insurance. And he accepted everything.
Of course he does.
So he takes a loan from his father, $1 million, because his father...
Small loan.
Just a small loan.
Small loan.
Just $1 million.
Just $1 million. I mean, his family is not like rich, but they were well off. His grandmother was like a chopped liver queen.
What?
I'm sorry. What the fuck am I? Chopped liver?
Exactly. Like she had become famous.
Made
for
her money
this,
in pate.
Made her money in chopped liver. And so, you know, the family didn't have a lot of money, but, you know, they had 3 kids, and, you know, one of them was like an artist, went off to do like film studies. Mark's the middle kid and always felt like he had something to prove.
Of course.
So he's like, no, I can make this really successful. His dad's like, all right, fine. Like, show me what you got, kid. Gives him $1 million. So he builds the Weinberger nose clinic. He's known as the nose doctor. And there's billboards everywhere, like 1-800 NOSE-DOC.
Oh, God.
And so it takes off like gangbusters. And the clinic is like beautiful, like marble, and
of course
it's all
it is.
fancy and everything. So, and he's a one-stop shop. So people would go there. You can get your CAT scans there. You can get everything. You can do your surgery there. Like, you go see him and he'll diagnose and treat you like zip, zap, zop.
I mean, my ENT did the same for me. So
right. So everything's going really well. The clinic is making like so much money.
Yeah.
And Michelle and him get married. He like takes her off to Rome, proposes to her with the Bulgari diamond ring. Has like random people on the street hired to sing and serenade her. While
That's a lot. I don't know about that. You had me until then.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had me until then.
Yeah. But it does feel a bit love bomby in that, like, of course, like, we all grew up on these like very fantastical rom-coms where like this stuff happens.
I gotta be honest, this is the exact kind of love bombing that would
work on you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Take
Showering you
Rome?
with gifts and vacations. Yeah,
just the vacation itself. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think this would work on a lot of people, especially because we were brought up with this idea that like sweeping you off your feet, being treated like a princess in this way.
Yeah. Oh, especially,
it's a happily ever after.
She's, you know, in her
money.
early, you know, she's in her mid-20s, so she's not like, but this is like, I mean, she's being swept off of her feet.
It is a happily ever after kind of idea. You think you found your Prince Charming and this is it, and roll credits.
However, there are a couple flags that I think that Michelle chose to ignore, which I'd like to share here.
She's looking at her Bulgari diamond, just like, yeah. It's fine.
I'm just going to ignore this.
Yeah.
So her dad ends up getting, like, Michelle's also from a working class family, like, you know, not from money.
You said also.
Like
he had $1 million loan from his. He is not from a working class family.
Yeah, he's like upper, but so she is like ignoring the fact that like her dad is starting to get sick, and Mark gets kind of like annoyed by this because he wants this huge wedding in Rome, and she's like, I want my dad to be at the wedding. So he's like really put out by it.
Oh, sorry, my dad's illness is inconvenient for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so then he ends up, their compromise was they had 3 weddings.
I'm exhausted by that. Look,
God.
Christina, you're planning a wedding right now.
I don't even want to do the
one, right? It's just like you're just like, I'm tired. I'm fucking tie. No, I don't want to do this. Like,
well, that's hire somebody to take care of it. Money. Though.
Yeah,
that's also true. That's also true.
I gotta show up for 3 things.
The
energy, the emotional energy. No, I don't even want to go to 3 parties
but that's
for me.
3 dresses I get to dress up in.
He can buy you dresses just for fun nights out. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't want it.
But yeah, so there's 3 different weddings, one in Rome and one in like where they were from, so where dad could be. And then like a third reception was at the Field Museum in Chicago. So three weddings, you know, definitely. The other thing is that Mark was very adamant that she had to frequently wear a cheerleader outfit when he came home.
When he came home
from work. Yeah. And that's like,
it's very
how
specific.
old is this man? Is he her age?
He's in his 30s. So he was, I think, like 8 years older than, but he was always had an obsession with cheerleaders and never got to be with one in high school. And so
you saw American Beauty at like a formative age and it like imprinted on your fucking brain.
So yeah, like, so Michelle would have to wear the cheerleader outfit. And then another thing that she got kind of upset about is that they were at dinner one night and he told her off the cuff that he was very upset with her about how much enthusiasm she was putting into the blowjobs she was giving, that he didn't feel that she was enthusiastic enough about it. And so he had a DVD
At
that
dinner?
he had bought.
Wait, I got a lot of questions. First of all, he
At
brought this
dinner.
up at dinner.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
out. Imagine
Out at
being a
dinner.
server. You're like, excuse me, would you like me to refill your water glass? Whoa. Okay. First of all, like this is not a public conversation. Secondly, a DVD.
Yes. Yes. He wanted her to watch the DVD.
Was it a porn DVD?
Obviously.
Probably.
It could be an instructional manual. We don't know.
And
This is how you give the proper blowjob.
proper blowy. And to be fair, by this point, like Michelle is studying for her PhD and her dad had just died, and his response, like at dinner, is to criticize how much enthusiasm that she puts into the nightly blowjobs.
Nope. I'm out. Double deuces.
Listen,
Nightly?
as somebody that likes giving blowjobs, I
don't
never
nightly like it.
Never nightly.
Nightly,
I don't
your
nightly
jaw
like it.
would be so strong.
Oh my God.
Your
I know.
masseter muscles would be so bulging, like for real.
Nightly blowjobs.
No, my mouth
There
hurts.
is not enough money in the world.
No.
I'm
No.
sorry. For nightly?
No.
No. And then to get criticized for the
No.
amount of fucking
Enthusiasm?
gusto
Fuck
I'm putting
you.
into it?
Is he giving nightly? Because I don't think so.
No, of course not. No. Yeah. So anyways, there are those like kind of red flags where she's like,
Kinda?
like, I don't know. But so yeah, she comes home from Greece and there's nothing left. They are $6 million in debt.
Stop it right now. Why?
She ran out on
Keegan just
everything.
imploded.
I did. $6 million. Why are I'm like, why are you going to
She's
Greece?
sweating.
Like, why are you on a yacht? You guys need to be like tightening that belt up.
Maybe
What are you
cancel
doing?
Netflix.
Cancel Netflix. Stop going to Starbucks immediately. What are you doing? That's so much money in debt.
He dipped out on his dad. Now his parents are on the hook for that $1 million.
Oh,
Because it turns out that Mark was doing a masterclass in insurance fraud. Big time. So this one-stop shop that he had,
I bet.
he was taking pictures of fucked up scans and being like, you got this. This is what you got. You need surgery.
And he wasn't
Whether
even
they
doing surgery or
fucking
not.
need it or not.
Oh, no.
So sometimes he was billing for surgeries he didn't do. Sometimes he was doing unnecessary surgeries. And in
doing unnecessary surgeries. That is a nightmare for me. Oh my God.
So he's
That's
telling
such a
people, he's
fear.
like, you've got this thing in your nose. I got to go dig it out. And so like this one woman, Phyllis, goes in and she's like, I can't breathe. I am actually having trouble swallowing.
I
like,
remember Phyllis from the
Yes.
Dateline.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, all right, yeah, you got this thing in your nose. I got to take it
God, I
out.
remember this,
She does the surgery and then she's like, doctor, like I'm still having a lot of trouble. And he's like, you just got to wait for the surgery to take place. She goes, gets a second opinion. The doctor's like, dude, you have throat cancer. Like, how did the doctor
so
miss
awful.
this? And so, of course, it's like too late. She does end up dying of throat cancer, but not before she begins malpractice proceedings against Dr. Weinberger. And she's one of literally like so many victims are starting to come forward. So in 2004, Phyllis had actually just died shortly before they went to Greece. So like he knew like the walls were starting to close in. So he just dipped. Michelle starts doing some digging. She goes over to the clinic, talks to the clinic person. Suzette's like, I haven't heard from him either. Like, what the fuck's going on? She gets this bag of shredded paper and spends 5 days like piecing all the shredded stuff together.
Wow.
Figures out he's been like buying diamonds and shit like that and all this stuff, and finds like reference to this place in Paris. So she goes to Paris. She's showing his picture around, like she's in sweatpants, gets on a plane to Paris and is like, where is this motherfucker? Like that kind of thing.
Wow.
They're like, you just missed him. He just left yesterday.
It's like a movie.
I want this to be a movie.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
know.
this is insane.
Yeah.
So Michelle has to go back. She has to declare bankruptcy. Her fucking life is ruined. Tatters. Like literally, she's like homeless at one point.
Jesus.
It's awful. And 5 years goes by. Michelle like gets his case on America's Most Wanted. She gets like trying to find him. No one knows where the fuck he is. Meanwhile, there's a very small Italian town, very beautiful with a Mount Tan. It's like very, very cute. And there's a woman, Monica, who works at a tiny little grocery store. She's very Italian, very beautiful, very striking. And a man comes in, Mark.
Never trust it when a man comes in.
Who strikes up a conversation. He likes music. She likes music.
Everybody likes music.
Hey. I like to drink water. He likes to drink water. We like breathing air.
We both like soup.
Talk or not talk for hours.
They end up like having these conversations, going skiing together, all that kind of stuff. And Monica finds herself falling in love for this Mark guy who apparently was a very wealthy stockbroker on Wall Street and then just got sick of the greed, got sick of the rat
he's such
race.
a good guy. He just
Made
needed
enough
a quiet
money.
life.
He just wanted a quiet life. You know, maybe thinking about kids.
Also,
that
have
kind
you
of
seen
thing.
this DVD of this woman giving a blowjob? Because that's what I'm going to expect
Wow.
from you.
So she's like, this guy is perfect. And I mean, she falls head over heels for him. And another thing that she mentions in the Dateline that struck her is like when they began to be intimate, she confessed to him that she was transgender. And he didn't mind. He didn't judge her for that. They still like carried on their relationship. So I think that really, you know, I mean, she's head over heels, right?
Yeah.
So
He could teach a masterclass in love bombing. It really sounds like he finds your weakness or whatever your thing is and he exploits it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So they're like dating for a while and Mark comes up with this harebrained idea. He's like, you know, I feel like I need to go live on that mountain in a tent for a while. I need to prove that I can
that's relatable
survival.
content. I'm like, I get that way where I'm just like, you know what? It's mountain time. It's solo mountain time.
Yeah. He's like, I got to know that I can survive in these super harsh conditions.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do get the just wanting to be alone on top
like
of a mountain.
-4 degrees.
Yeah, no,
okay?
never mind.
Yeah.
You lost
None of
me.
this.
You
None
had
of
me.
this.
You had me and you lost me.
I'm like, none of this
Monica's
sounds...
like, are you
Okay.
sure? And he's like, yeah. So he goes and does that. He lives in a tent on the mountain. Sometimes Monica goes and like brings him stuff. But the thing that he forgets to do is to pay rent on his place. And so the Italian police are called because the fucking landlord's like, what the fuck? Where's the money?
Oh my God.
That was incredible. Wow.
Oh,
I'm
man.
so good at accents. I had to
You
throw
are
this in.
I mean, to be honest, for you, that was
pretty
I
good.
knew
that it was
great.
Italian.
Yeah.
All right, great. So they find out, and like he had put his actual fucking passport down
Fucking
to
dummy.
rent it back when like no one was really looking for him at that time. So they're like, oh, actually, like he's got a warrant for his like an international warrant for his arrest. And so Monica has like friends calling her and being like, hey, you know that fucking guy you're dating? He's actually this person. And look, there's a Dateline episode about it.
Oh,
damn.
And so she watches it. She's like, what?
Keith Morrison is like, got your ass.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch.
So she goes to the Italian police. She's like, yeah, he's in a tent on that mountain. I'll take you to him. And so they go and pick him up, and he is like, doesn't resist arrest, but they're like talking to him. He does try to like stick a knife in his neck, but he's unsuccessful.
All right, dramatic.
Yeah, very dramatic. So he's finally, after like, and Michelle is freaking out, like 5 years later is being extradited.
Imagine getting that phone call.
Yeah.
Imagine 5 years later.
Justice. Okay. Justice is coming. He's getting extradited to the United States. Victims are excited. Like he's going to have to pay for his crimes, all of that.
Uh-oh, the way you're saying this is worrying me.
He gets in front of a judge.
Stop it.
And he works out a plea deal.
What?
And so for doing hundreds of unnecessary surgeries, killing people, and bankrupting his family and his wife, all of this fraud, he serves 5 years in prison.
What? Why? For what? In exchange for
5
what?
years.
Like, what was the plea deal? Like, I don't
He
understand.
pled guilty. 5 years in prison. So he got 5 years. And now Mark Weinberger lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. He is out.
Okay, we got to spread this motherfucker's face everywhere because like that's a dangerous person.
Yeah.
He is married again. He is a yoga doc. He's
Oh my God.
As someone who does yoga every single day and will always tell people like I love yoga so much, it's done such great things for me.
Oh, you can
like,
buy classes from him.
It's incredible. A lot of fucking scammers, grifters, con people go towards things like yoga.
Wellness.
Very scary.
He's in one of those like he's like I can teach you how to be a man. You know,
oh, ew.
buy classes.
Does he have a
things.
TikTok? Probably. Ew.
Does he sell a video about how
He's
to do
really
a
into
blowjob?
crypto.
Of course he
Shocking.
is. Of course.
I'm so surprised by that.
He's married with 2 children.
Oh no.
And yep, that is the Tainted Love story
Jesus.
of Dr. Mark Weinberger.
What a piece of shit.
How fucking furious are you right now?
I'm pretty furious.
Yeah.
That you could
Could ruin someone's
you could
life.
ruin someone's life.
Yeah.
$6 million.
Yeah. And you just get to move on and have a normal life.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for you. And she's probably still facing the repercussions of having been in bankruptcy and all that shit.
All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's still having to deal with that. Those families
And what about
people
Monica?
with like sinus problems are still dealing with that. Like the fallout from this dude is enormous.
If I was Phyllis's family, like,
they're heartbroken.
Yeah, because if you had caught it earlier, who knows?
Right, exactly.
But they'll never know because
they'll never
of this
know.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
God, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Icky.
So definitely recommend Dateline. It's called A Wanted Man. So you can check it out. It's in season 29. It is a very intense Dateline. And I think, Michelle's been on like Dr. Phil and stuff like that.
I bet.
You can, I mean, she's furious, like trying to get the word out to find him because for years, no one knew where the fuck he was. Jeez. And to be honest, nobody was really looking all that hard.
No.
Yeah.
Which is wild because when money is involved, usually.
Yeah, you'd figure somebody would want to get paid, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
The nose doctor. And the audacity. You should see pictures of this motherfucker too. And the audacity.
Always.
The way that like this whole story, I'm like, oh my God, I just had that nose thing done. But I was like, oh, Chris was there. He actually watched the procedure happen. Alive.
Lord. Wow.
Yeah.
Good one.
Woo.
Yeah, I must have just been convinced that I had like, because I'm so familiar with the case and I've seen the Dateline and stuff, but I was like.
And it's definitely something we would do.
Yeah.
So it's like, it would, I'd be doing the same thing. Be like, God, surely we've talked about this shit.
I know.
Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah.
What are you guys watching?
Sorry, switching gears. I was going to say, I felt that same way about when I did the story with the girl in the barrel.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, we had to have done the story because it was also one of those ones that had been living in my brain for so long. I was like, I got to do that story. So what have I been watching? I actually have been reading.
Yeah.
Did I share this yet?
No, I don't think so. But you shared it with me, obviously.
Oh my God. I have been reading a book called Demon Copperhead that I fucking love. I'm obsessed with this book. I literally got halfway through the library version on my phone and I was like, I'm going to buy this physical copy book.
You were reading it on your phone?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, girl.
And then I changed. I was like, I want this physical book. Like sometimes you get that way where you're just like, I love this.
Own
yeah,
exactly.
book. Yeah.
So those of you who aren't familiar, it's by Barbara Kingslover. Who is
she wrote Poisonwood Bible.
The Poisonwood Bible, yeah, which I never read. I've never read any of her stuff.
I have that one if you want to borrow it.
I don't know that.
You're like, no.
I mean, like, I don't know that that's my thing. I don't know if she's just like, what it is. What I do love about it is that it is a modern retelling of David Copperfield, which is Charles Dickens' book. And we know how much I love Dickens. I love the juxtaposition of framing it in the way that, you know, nothing's changed.
It's the American South, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
takes place
mid South, so Virginia.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible. I will tell you that having grown up even in a small town in Ohio, I find correlations to things that are so relatable. It speaks to the opioid epidemic. It speaks to the children who've been orphaned by the opioid epidemic. It is,
oh my gosh.
It's really fucking good. It's just incredibly well written. I can't. I'm like dying to find somebody who's read it so I can talk to somebody about it.
Yeah,
because I'm like,
it's on my list. I
book.
have it on hold at the library, but I'm like literally like 1,855th in line for the Kindle version. So I'm like, if I get there, I might just buy it and read it because I bet, you know, I would enjoy it if you speak so highly of it. So I'm definitely going to read it and then we can talk about it.
I'm literally 2 5-star books in a row. Because I did as
Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Yeah, so incredible. That was absolutely poetry. I think I did talk about that book. Oh God, that book was incredible. Fast. In this book, I'm like, actually, I probably could have had it done like last week, but I'm just like trying to savor it. Yeah, I'm like trying to stretch it out. I'm like, it's so good. Yeah.
Speaking of books, I did read, this was a couple books ago for me, but I read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the prequel to The Hunger Games because the movie's coming out this year. It was all right. I enjoyed it.
Exactly the feedback I keep hearing. It's like,
it was all right. I enjoyed reading it. It was a fun read. You know, it's a fun, easy read. But what it did do is I've been pretty depressy lately. And it did encourage me to go back in my depressive state and just wanting to like live in nostalgia. I rewatched all of the Hunger Games movies.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I watched, which is actually saying quite a lot because they are all over 2 hours long. They're all pretty long. But I think they did a good job with those movies. Yeah. I think that they did a pretty good job with them.
Did you read the books?
I own the books. Yeah.
I remember reading that last book being so fucking, I could have thrown that fucking book across the room.
Oh, really?
The way that they ended it.
Oh yeah.
She never wanted to have kids. She never wanted to have this life. And then it's like,
don't like that. And the movie ends the same way. And I don't love that they did that to her.
Alert.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But I don't love that they did that to her character either.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But the books themselves, I really enjoyed. And I think that they did a good job adapting the movies.
Yeah.
I did also watch, and this I don't recommend if you're depressed. I did watch Beau is Afraid.
I have that on my list, but yeah, I haven't been in the mood. I'm like, something strikes me and thinking
First of all,
going to be sad.
It's 3 hours long.
Yeah. Ooh. Also that.
It's 2 hours and 59 minutes. It's 3 hours long. Secondly, it's not for me. I won't say that it's not for anybody. Like there are positive reviews of it. It reminded me a lot of Mother, which I didn't like. In tone.
Yeah. Okay.
And also, it's very like no plot, just vibes. Kind of.
I fucking hate
3
that.
hours.
No.
Of that?
Yeah, I mean, there is a loose plot. Like he is trying to get somewhere. It is kind of like an odyssey of sorts. So there is
3 hours. It better be. It is an odyssey.
There is a loose plot, but it is very vibes. And I didn't love it. So, and it's not a horror movie, which you'd think because it's like Ari Aster, who did Hereditary and Midsummer. It's not like those movies.
Interesting.
So just know that going in.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, I talked about it earlier. I watched Shiny Happy People, which was very just unbelievable.
The way she talks is so upsetting.
Oh, yeah.
The way that she talks, everything sounds just like this.
Yeah.
Quiet
I hate
and
it.
sweet.
I fucking hate that. You can
Isn't
stop
that
that
awful?
immediately. Did you finish Black Mirror?
Yes.
Fuck,
Yes,
that last
I
episode
did.
is so fucking good.
Oh my gosh. I definitely it's better than the last season. It's not my favorite season of Black Mirror, but
It's up there for me.
It's
It's not my
pretty
favorite,
good.
but it is up there
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. But now, I'm looking for something to read or get into. I want to start listening to Scammanda, that podcast.
don't
It's
know
like
this.
number 1 right now.
I don't
But
know
I've
what that
heard-
is either.
Oh, Scammanda.
Yes.
Yes. The one who was lying to people about having cancer or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
It's supposed to be. I've heard so many people have said that it's so good.
Oh, I'll add that to my podcast
Yeah.
rotation. I need
Yeah.
new stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start listening to that one, and
Interesting.
we'll update you next week.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But yeah, if you guys have something that we should watch, something that we should read, if you have a terrible date story, or you just want to say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.